Hey all, we are approaching the very end of 2023. In this video, I'm going to share with you my new Jaboticaba collection, as well as go through some ideas for plant markers. If you're anything like me, you've got a lot of plants and you need a way to mark them. Got myself some gifts for Christmas, and of course they were plants, so sharing with you my latest additions. There are many varieties of Jaboticaba. If you go to a nursery, you're going to find the Sabara. And I have a fairly established Sabara in ground, but wanted to add some more to my collection, but not spend a fortune on these. So these are all little starts that I got around 20 bucks plus shipping. So this is actually a really nice plant for the price point. This is a white aureana. So this variety can actually fruit much earlier than the Sabara. And as the name implies, this actually puts on a white fruit. A lot of Jaboticabas have acidity to the fruit. Quite a few tannins in the fruit. So this variety doesn't have that as much. It's a very sweet variety, pleasant tasting. This is not a Jaboticaba. This is actually a superior lemon drop mangosteen. I have another lemon drop mangosteen in my collection, but this is a slightly different variety. It's supposed to be better fruit. This one here is the ESALQ. I'm not sure how to pronounce that exactly. This variety here is serrana. It comes from Argentina. This guy back here is a grimal. Black fruit on this one. And here we have one that actually puts on red fruit and is a fairly precocious variety known as the red hybrid. This one can fruit in, I believe, 3 to 4 years. And then I also got just a gifted red Jaboticaba as well, little plug, which was nice of the seller. So I'll link these two stores. I've never purchased from them before. They're both out in Florida and on Etsy and eBay, but found them to be really well priced and super healthy plants, as you can tell. Packaged them well and came fairly quickly. So obviously going to take quite a few years before these can fruit, but excited to add these to my collection. And if you noticed, all of these have embossed metal tags. I've had issues with plastic tags degrading with UV sun. I have tried the embossed tags that you can write on, but those don't last all too long. So I wanted something that looked a little bit better, that's basically machine stamped, but not spend a fortune. So I purchased an embossing unit off eBay, and I'm going to show you the process here on how I made these tags. For many years I've used this approach. These are little signs, and you use basically a grease marker to mark that out. The lettering will start wearing down, so this is not a long-term solution, but will work for about 5 years. That's been my experience here, in blazing Phoenix sun with all the weather and all that's going at these. They don't last forever. Say that the metal tags themselves haven't really rusted on me, so from that perspective these are pretty good. So here's another one that I actually tried this year, a sign that I got from Amazon. It had a black glossy finish on it, and you're basically writing with a oil-based white paint pen. They looked really sharp initially, but as you can see they did not hold up well. This isn't even a year of use, and it's completely rusted out and obviously almost illegible, the writing. So do not recommend these at all. So here I just want to do a quick demo of how this tool works. There's a compartment here that you open up with the screwdriver, and that's where your spool of aluminum or stainless steel tape goes in. This takes 1/2-inch rolls of tape. So from the spool, when you're first inserting the tape, you just kind of thread it out and put it under these 2 wheels here, and then advance it to the point where it's coming up into view here. And to actually emboss the letters, there's a wheel here that has the alphabet. And finally, this lever here will cut your strip. It rounds it to begin with and then cuts it when you need to take the strip out. All right, so I need to make a label for my grimal Jaboticaba. So you can see the G in view, and then to actually mark it, there's this just handle that you press. All right, so spelled out grimal. Now to actually advance it, there's a wheel here, so you just bring it towards you, and that makes a space. Alright, so we've spelled it out. Now to actually cut this strip out, what I'm going to do is advance it. So again, pulling the wheel towards us. You can see the tape starting to come out here. Alright, so at this point I'm going to now flip this up. And you can see that it's embossed this aluminum strip with the name of the plant. So at the end of the wheel there is a little compartment that you can slip your tape in all the way down, and it'll actually make a hole for you. So again, just pulling up on this lever, and there's the hole. So I think these are pretty cool. I would not spend $300. Amazon has them new for around that price. I got this used on eBay for 90 bucks. So for container plants and then also for my grafts, this is a nice way to mark the plants. So another option for plant markers that's somewhat popular but expensive if you're going to buy from a store are burnt wood signs. So for this little demo, I'm using a cedar wood plank board. These are, super cheap. People generally use them to grill fish, but I'm using them for my outdoor sign just because they're in a nice dimension for me already. They're 5 inches wide or tall by 11 inches long. So that gives me a pretty good surface area. Cedar wood is nice just because it is one of the better woods to use outdoors in that it's rot resistant, especially if you clear coat this wood at the end with something, it's going to last a long time. For laying out my lettering, you could just freehand it, but I'm just using these cheap little stencils. I got a whole pack for under $10. The wood burning process, I'm using this thing called a scorch marker. So basically, it's just a pen you write with. You can just fill in your stencils. Then after marking up our board, just go over it with the heat gun. So for this sign, this is all I'm going to do, just the basic lettering. If you're real artistic, you could freehand, and try to draw a piece of quince fruit or a leaf. There's various stencils too for things like fruit and plants, but we're going to just go with this lettering so I can show you the burn process next. Alright, so essentially this just looks like a heat gun, and I think that's all it really is. It's made by the same people that make the pen that we just used to mark up this wood. So I'm just going to put this on. So burn process is done. No smoke, no fumes really to this process. Pretty simple. Here we have the finished product. I applied a thin layer of boiled linseed oil just to bring out the color in the wood and protect this wood. and then drilled a couple holes, as you can see at the top there, and used twine to secure it to the tree. So, nice looking rustic sign for your plants. You could alternatively, brace this onto maybe a small stake in the ground. That's another option if you want to have it more at ground level. And again, I'm not an expert at this, just showing you the art of possible with signs. Literally did this for the first time on video, but if anything, it just shows that anyone can do this. You don't have to have any special skills. Here's another one that I made for the Royal Poinciana. You can see I use some stencils for the leaf design on either side, just for a little bit more of an artistic edge there. And again, applied the linseed oil to protect the wood and bring out the coloring in that cedar. Wishing you a happy new year, an abundant 2024. Thanks for watching and happy gardening.